Welcome to the Records and Information Management tutorial. You are taking this tutorial because you have requested a SharePoint 2013 site, and we want to make sure you are familiar with the concept of information management and why it is important. So what is information management? Information management is about the ability to provide the right information at the right time to the right people. We are all able to work more effectively and efficiently when our information is readily available and easy to find. So how does this benefit you? By giving users a consistent way to refer to data, it makes it easier to find information than ever before. For example, currently when searching for a financial document, some users may search by financial or fiscal, which could bring about differing results. Now they will all be classified as fiscal, thus making search results more consistent. It will also save you time and allows you to provide services more efficiently and effectively. So now, instead of wasting time combing through irrelevant information to find the documents you need to get your work done, you will be able to find them quickly, which will allow you to spend more time getting your actual work completed. It also provides you with the categorized information that you need to do your job. So what are the benefits for the county? There are plenty. Will reduce the cost of storing and maintaining unnecessary and redundant information. Will be able to effectively comply with FOIA and the Virginia Public Records Act and our e-discovery processes. And will be able to reduce or replace paper-based processes and decrease energy consumption. There are three main policies that are relevant to the information management rules we are enforcing: the Virginia Public Records Act, the Records and Information Management Admin Reg, which is new to the county, and the Virginia Freedom of Information Act Admin Reg. To learn more about these policies and regulations, you can visit our Records and Information Management page on Commons, and we'll have links to all three of these. We are often asked what is a public record and what information is covered under our information management guidelines. In short, it is any recorded information that documents a transaction or activity by or with any Arlington County employee. If the information is produced, collected, received, or retained in pursuance of law, or with the transaction of public business, it is a public record. The work you perform as an Arlington County government employee is important, which is why it is crucial that you make sure your work information is properly managed. Make sure that when you create important county information that you and others need to do business, that it is stored in a county managed information tool, such as SharePoint or ERMS. No more storing information in your personal Dropbox or other personal storage solution. You also need to make sure your information is properly maintained and disposed of. By implementing these information management rules, it will make maintaining and disposing of county records a seamless process for the end user. I know this may seem like a lot of new information at once, but trust me, you have support. Every department has at least one Records and Information Management Coordinator. We have the entire list of coordinators by department, which can be found on our Records and Information Management site on Commons. These are the first people you should reach out to with any questions or concerns, and if questions need to be escalated, they will work directly with the Chief Records Management Officer, Chad Doran, to make sure your concerns are adequately addressed. So now we are going to discuss a little bit pertaining to the information management lifecycle. It consists of 5 main steps: the creation of information, properly maintaining the information in a county managed system, properly using the information, and then eventually either destroying the information or archiving it if it needs to be available either long-term or permanently. Making sure your information is properly categorized is very important. In SharePoint, this will help the system know how long certain documents need to be retained, help to improve the protection of confidential information, as well as it will make it easier for the end user to find information when they search. We have analyzed information throughout the county and identified 8 high-level categories of content generated. This chart gives you examples of each category and lets you know that based on the content category you select, it will determine how long that information is retained. For instance, let's say I need to upload a payment voucher into SharePoint. Based on the chart, I know that if I'm uploading a payment voucher, the content type that I would choose would be fiscal. The chart also tells me that since I selected the content type of fiscal, that payment voucher will be kept in the system for an additional 5 years after the fiscal year ends. Once that time frame has been exceeded, the user will no longer be able to access that voucher. You may or may not know that information stored on our desktop computers are not backed up. That means if your computer crashes, any information stored on it is at risk. By storing official county records on your team's SharePoint site, it will prevent data loss as well as allow you to access those documents anytime, anywhere, and from any device. This chart gives you a guideline pertaining to what kind of information should be stored where. If it's marked green, that indicates that it is the preferred method of storage. If it's marked red, it means it is prohibited to store that kind of data there. And if it has no color indication, then that means while we are not prohibiting it, it is not best practice. Now there may be changes to this chart as things like encryption become available, so please visit the Records and Information Management site on Commons for the most up-to-date version. We have all probably had instances where multiple people needed to edit a document and there were multiple different versions of a document floating around. Instead of storing multiple copies of a document and sending attachments, you'll now be able to send links to a single document, which will also help you to ensure that you're always accessing the most up-to-date version of that document. If you have worked for the same company for a long period of time, you may be tempted to keep everything work-related you have worked on. This is not always the best practice. It can make relevant information harder to find and cause you to exceed storage capacity with redundant information. By implementing our retention rules and policies, we will be able to reduce future storage needs, decrease costs to the county, energy consumption, and our carbon footprint. If there are situations where information needs to be stored permanently or for a long duration of time, we need to make sure we have this information and we know how to locate it when we need it. By giving a document a historical content type, it will help to make sure it is archived and preserved appropriately. This will happen automatically without the end user having to do anything additional. When information is stored appropriately according to best practices, it becomes immediately accessible to anyone that needs access, regardless of staff transitions. So now we are going to go over a few questions just to review the information that we have covered. By properly categorizing information, it improves the accuracy of your search results. True or false? That is true. By providing a consistent way to reference our data, it helps to provide better search results. Information management increases information storage cost. True or false? That would be false. By properly managing information and getting rid of stale information that is no longer needed past its retention period, we are actually able to decrease storage costs. Which option details one of your responsibilities for managing your county information? A. Destroying your records once you no longer need them. B. Properly creating, maintaining, and disposing of records. Or C. Storing all of your information in OneDrive for Business. That would be B. It is your responsibility as an Arlington County employee to create records that are necessary for you and others to do business. You should not destroy your records once you no longer need them, because all county records should be retained in accordance to the specified retention period. You may think you no longer need them, when in all actuality, they may still be applicable. Also, records should not go on OneDrive for Business. Only drafts and reference or convenience copies of items should go on OneDrive for Business. It is okay to store information on your C drive for long periods of time. True or false? That is false. It is not okay to store information on your C drive for long periods of time. Information that is stored on your C drive is not backed up, which could result in the loss of important county data. Instead, you should save anything that is a county record in SharePoint, or if it is a draft copy or reference article, it should be saved in your OneDrive for Business. It is necessary for me to keep my work-related documents forever. You never know when something may come up and I may need them. True or false? False. It is not okay for you to keep your work-related documents forever. While we understand that some people like to retain all of their work-related documents, this is not in the best interest of the county. Documents should be disposed of once they reach their retention period, which is why it is important to store this information in SharePoint. By doing so, once you select the correct content type for your data, it will tell the system how long to retain it before automatically disposing of it. This also lessens the responsibility placed on the end user, since it will happen automatically. You no longer have to go through the time-consuming task of manually going through and disposing of stale information. If you have a question about an information management policy, who do you reach out to first? A. Help Desk, B. Your department's Records and Information Coordinator, or C. Send an email to records@arlingtonva.us. B. If your department's Records and Information Management Coordinator cannot resolve your issue immediately, then they can reach out to the Information Management Team, Chad Doran and Special Thompson, on your behalf. A list of all Records and Information Management Coordinators for each department will be included at the end of this training. Being able to send a link to a document instead of sending it as an email attachment is beneficial for what reason? A. You always know you are working on the most up-to-date version of a document. B. All users will be working on one copy of a document. C. By storing the document on SharePoint, you can collaborate with your team and work on documents simultaneously. Or D. All of the above. D. All of the above are benefits to sending a link to a document that is stored on SharePoint instead of sending the document as an email attachment. So where can you go if you have questions? For general information and updates, the best place to visit will be our Records and Information Management site on Commons. You can access that page by going to our intranet, selecting Technology Services, and then selecting the Information Management tile. For any specific questions, please reach out to your Records and Information Management Coordinator for your department. And at the end of this training, we will provide a list of all the Records and Information Management Coordinators by department for your convenience.